about UCLA? Have you got a chance to either now or before take a look at how they play?
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing them my freshman year. It was a pretty fun game. Do they got the same coach? Was it the same coach my freshman year? Yeah, I remember they was like kind of fast-paced team, kind of 4-on-1 in. I mean, they added Ju Zhang. So, I mean, it'll be a fun game.
Yeah, you should have a mask on if you please. Thank you. Armando, I don't know if you saw, but the women's program posted a video of them watching the final seconds to win versus Baylor. Wasn't mean to have, them cheering you on and also to see their success, obviously winning last night in Arizona to get to Sweet 16.
Yeah, I mean, it's great just seeing what Coach Manghart is doing for the program. They've been playing really well, and for them to get a big win like that against Arizona in that type of environment, and it's huge. And, yeah, I mean, we definitely support them. We watch all their games, and, I mean, I talk to them all the time just about every day, and we just both talk about each other's games and just give encouraging words.
Armando, how do you prepare yourself mentally for a game knowing there won't be many substitutions if it's a close game, like the second half at Duke, like to push through something like that?
I guess it's something we as a group has kind of gotten accustomed to, just being we've been playing such high minutes all year, so we kind of know how to play hard but also kind of pace ourselves in some situations. But, I mean, I would say all of us, we like being on the court, and, I mean, it's fun. I'd rather be on the court than on the bench, so I don't have a problem with it.
What's the toughest part of it? Is it physical or is it the mental part?
I'll probably say more the mental part. Because, I mean, sometimes it's good to, be able to get on the bench and just kind of evaluate what's going on and take a deep breath. But a lot of the times we can't really have that opportunity to do it.
Is there a point of pride for the guys to be able to do like the second half at Cameron or in some of these games where you guys are playing 38 or 43 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really got a choice. Like, I mean, we can't really – we don't really got too many big guys, so I don't really have I can't really sit in. Then with Caleb and RJ, those are really our two primary ball handlers, so it's nothing really we can do about it.
When you're in the midst of a tournament like this, is there an opportunity to kind of reflect on the craziness of Saturday's game? And if so, what kind of sticks out in your mind like, gosh, that was the craziest thing, and is it kind of amazing that you guys pulled it out given the circumstances?
Yeah, it was really crazy. I had anxiety, like my anxiety was going crazy until about, I was watching the Duke and Michigan State game, and then I started feeling a little good just about the way the game was going. That's about the time that I've calmed down, but I mean, yeah, it was a crazy game. It was kind of like we was a sinking ship trying to stay afloat as long as possible until we got to shore, and yeah, I'm just glad we kind of won that game. And yesterday we watched film, and I mean, we made a lot of mistakes, but luckily these next game, I'll imagine we'll have Brady and Caleb on the floor the whole time, so we should be good.
Does it take a considerable amount of time to emotionally move on from something like that? And is there a correlation to moving on from a Duke game as well, given the emotion that went into that?
I would say not so much the Duke game because, I mean, it was still more basketball to be played, but I mean, that game, it was like we almost blew it, and then, like, our season would have been over with. And just how crazy everything was, and just to still pull that game out in overtime with playing a freshman and then Justin, too, who hasn't really seen much time in that type of environment. I mean, we're just so lucky that we pulled it out.
Is there a value in now fully understanding the meaning of surviving in advance?
Definitely. I feel like that definitely showed us, like, there's no time to fool around.
What stood out on the tape review from the Baylor game that try to improve on?
Man, free throws, one. We missed a lot of box-out opportunities, too. I mean, they got a lot of offensive rebounds in the second half, especially when Brady and Caleb went out. Then, too, just on our press break, too, we weren't doing the things that we usually are supposed to do. And we kind of watched, like, 45 minutes on film just seeing the mistakes we made, and we really was kind of just shooting ourselves in the foot.
What was going wrong with the press break for your opinion?
We all was, like, coming to the ball. So, like, Dontrez, he was supposed to run long, and he was, like, creeping up. And then I was supposed to go more towards the middle. And then, like, kind of the two-guard front supposed to be like a T. And our coaches, they kind of want us, the two guards, to run like a football route, kind of run like an out, and then kind of weren't breaking down and faking the right way. So it just gave them running a diamond press. It was easy for them to deny one and then take that first guy out and then deny the other. So it was, like, hard to get the ball in.
Armando, you mentioned Caleb and Brady. What have they said since they obviously missed some of the crucial minutes at the end of the game? What have they said since then and looking forward?
Yeah, I mean, they both were just feeling what all y'all were feeling, just stressed out. Like, hopefully we can pull it out. That was the main thing. I talked to Brady, and he just said he was just back there freaking out, just praying that we won. And, yeah, I'm just glad we pulled it out.
And Hubert last night on his radio show said that Brady asked to run, and Great Levo spoke up and said, we crawl for you. What does that mean for just to have that dynamic on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just shows the growth on us as a team, just from where we started to now, just all us playing together. And we actually all ended up crawling, except for Brady, to like half court. Everybody on the team, all the managers, all the trainers and everything. So that was real cool.
Have you talked with Leaky about the off the backboard pass that he made at the end of the game?
Oh, yeah, no, we joked about it a lot. I was on Twitter and I saw Dave Portnoy had kind of tweeted out something about that, so that was kind of cool. But, yeah, I told him I wish he would have got it through because, I mean, I was definitely going to try to tear the rim down right there.
Did you guys get on him after the game about that? Get on Leaky?
Oh, man. Yeah, we did a little bit, but, I mean, honestly, we all still was in shock.
On the subject of Brady, Armando, like, what have you seen from him since he had to leave Saturday? Just like, how has he been, and what have you been saying to him, like, specifically?
I mean, I just tell him to keep doing what he's doing right now. I mean, Brady's playing like the best player in the whole world, and he's been on fire. And I mean, when he's playing that good, and Caleb and RJ, and not having to rely on one person, and it can be somebody else every day. I mean, it's just great, and I just love it. And I mean, we all just happy that we're all playing good and everybody's having a big night. And I mean, when you got a team like us that got guys that can shoot, drive, and do a bunch of different things, and you can't just dial in on one player, I mean, it's great, especially in March.
How much confidence do you feel like Dontrez got out of, especially the overtime filling in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great for him just being a freshman and just to, I mean, it's not easy to be a freshman, especially not play this much all year and then to come in a big-time game like that and make huge plays and then knock down that big three. I mean, I feel like it's one of those moments he can look back on and, you know, give him more confidence going forward. And I feel like that was kind of his, like, coming out party and introducing himself.
Two more quick ones with Armando.
How clutch would you say RJ has been? Okay, 12 assists against Marquette, 30 against Baylor, and, I mean, you guys needed every one of them. You know, like, he played all 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, he's been great. I mean, it's not easy going out there and having a good game versus those Baylor guards. I mean, y'all saw how they were pressing, and I mean, all year defense has been like their kind of thing. And just for him to go out there and be able to score at a high rate like that against a team that defends so well, I mean, it was huge for us, and we needed every point we could get.
Armando, Leakey's the only guy on this team that's gone to the Sweet 16. How has Hubert talked about playing the Sweet 16, and how's that approach been?
Yeah, we just been having a tunnel vision kind of approach to just the rest of the season, just taking one game at a time. But, I mean, we don't want our journey to end here. I mean, you don't really get any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not really remembered at UNC for going to the Sweet 16. So we definitely want to get to the Final Four and beyond.
Thank you, Armando.
No problem.
So Brady's up next, and he understands that you're going to have a couple questions about the play. And
Get what happened Saturday out of the way. I'm more interested in knowing what was going through your mind when you were in the locker room. I know you were in there with Eric Hoots, but it was 10 minutes left in the game. It seemed like you were there for like another hour and 15 minutes. How did you process that and work through that?
Yeah, it was pretty stressful. So we didn't have the TV feed. We had the Jumbotron feed. So when the play was still happening, we were watching the replay of the play before. So we didn't really know what was going on. We could hear the crowd. It was stressful all the way around.
Athletic sense, is that the most stressed you've ever been, just being in there and having no effect on the game and not even knowing exactly what was happening at that moment?
Yeah, definitely up there. Especially the lead we had and, not being able to, like you said, have anything to do with holding that lead and finishing the game out.
Brady, what happened on the play and how sort of physical and intense was the game to that point?
Yeah, it was physical. It was a physical game. There were a lot of pushing and shoving. There was a lot of just physicality throughout the whole time. But yeah, I caught him high and hit him in the face. So it was one of those ones where I don't know if it was intentional, but I definitely got a piece of him.
What was your sense of relief when the guys came back in the locker room at the end?
It was unbelievable. It wasn't unbelievable with the loss of the lead, but it was unbelievable how they played in overtime and stepped up and hit big shots.
Brady, when the whistle blew, when the official was calling the foul, did you have at that moment? Did you think at any point you were in, it was in jeopardy of being ejected?
Yeah, I think so. I think I anytime something like that happens, especially above the shoulders, it gives you that stress right then and there. It was one of those things.
It looked like all the guys hugged you when they came back in, almost like one by one. Were you getting emotional back there watching it? I mean, was it hard to, did you need a seatbelt?
Yeah, I'd say, I've talked about how I've never made it past that game, and to have that lead, and then, we had the lead, we should have beat them by a whole lot more, and then that happens, and the whole game shifts, and it was just a crazy thing to go through. I wouldn't want to do that again.
To be clear, you didn't have any of the live TV?
No.
You were just watching replays?
So it was the Jumbotron feed. So the Jumbotron plays the game, and then when someone scores, it says replay, and it shows the replay while the game still goes on. So we would watch someone score, replay, and then 5 seconds later we'd hear the crowd yell, and then we'd go back and it would be a stopped ball. Then we'd watch that replay, and it'd be an and-one, and now somebody's shooting a free throw. It was just all over the place.
So you're trying to time up the crowd noise. Sorry to interrupt you. You're trying to time up the crowd noise, like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Like, good or bad, right? Yeah.
So what's working well for you this tournament? 28 the first game, 26 in 30 minutes, and the second game, one of the standouts of the whole tournament so far. And the ball's different too. You're coming with the ball as well.
Yeah, I would say the ball has a big factor on it. We've played with different basketballs throughout the year. Definitely. I think a lot of people shot the ball better throughout the tournament. Other teams, our team, and then just getting open. It's different when you see teams that you haven't played, especially this year. Coming North Carolina, I played a lot of teams that I haven't played throughout the years. It's when you go into a Big 12 game over the last few years, it'd be my 8th time playing somebody. It was different. I get that I've played Baylor 8 times, but it was different. They hadn't seen a team that plays like us. We have a lot of pieces, a lot of offensive pieces.
What does it mean for you to have this, I don't know if second chance is the right word, you thought maybe your season was ending, you're stuck in the locker room, and now you got this better chance to keep going here?
Yeah, it's special. We got a really good chance on Friday. We're playing really well. A lot of the guys have their confidence up, and we fought through that last game, so I feel like we can fight through anything.
Can you talk about?
Hey, Art, can you let him finish before? Were you done? Brady?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. We're done talking about the play. Okay, I ask a question. You're a fifth-year guy, you have the coaching staff. Was there any collaboration between you and the coaches when you got here about your experience playing the open floor game, since you've had so much experience with that?
I would say one of the big things that got me here was the people that were coming back, obviously on the team, but Coach Davis wanted to go away from not all the time, but he wanted to try the stretch four part. He was ready to see how that would turn out, and I think I was a good fit for that, and I think I've helped change his mind a little bit on that, and that's really the big piece of how I got here, and I think it's affected how our team plays. It affects getting Armando more open down low. It spaces the floor out, so it's all around helped us.
Brady, what did it mean to you that after the Baylor game, and I'm assuming this wasn't arranged before the game, that you were the one planting North Carolina on the bracket? Was that something the team specifically said, Brady, you do it?
I'm making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah. I didn't have any idea that I was going to do it. But yeah, it was just cool. Really good energy in the locker room, and just a really good group of guys.
Brady,
Go ahead.
how have you prepared yourself and the other starters for playing the minutes that you guys have in terms of the physical part's one thing, but there's the mental part of being able to play through fatigue and play at a high level?
I'd say the last few weeks and last few months we've had some games where we'd play a low number of guys. We'd play 7 or 8 guys. The other day was one of those times that Coach talks about that your number will be called, so you're going to have to be ready. And for the starting 5, they've done unbelievable. I actually talked to Leaky the other day. I wouldn't say we're in the best shape of our life. I just think we're playing a lot, and it's been a lot of fun.
I mean, you can make stats look any way you want to, but I know Kirsch has the assist numbers from Fort Worth. They're escaping me now. But do you think the way you guys were able to find each other and share the ball and such a high percentage of assists on your buckets, does that indicate maybe the chemistry you guys are playing with?
Yeah, definitely. I've said multiple times that I don't score if they don't pass me the ball. A lot of our offense starts through whether the point guard hits somebody on open cut, and then when they drive late clock, it's a lot of my points come from their unselfishness, and it's really cool to see the assist numbers this last weekend and how well we played, and just compare that to the rest of the year.
How much of that is you getting better moving without the ball? How much is them getting comfortable with how you move without the ball, just kind of being aware of your movement and more used to it?
Yeah, a lot of my buckets have come off of baseline dump offs, 3-pointers along any part of the 3-point line. But a lot of those, I'm moving over 2-3 steps. I'm backdoor cutting, or something along the lines of they probably have a good shot, but they pass it to me off for a better shot, and it's really awesome that they trust me to shoot that ball, and I think it's helped pay off with everybody. I mean, I'm shooting it well, Caleb's shooting it well, RJ's shooting it well, Leaky making shots, Armando's doing Armando stuff down low, so it's really cool.
Two more. What did it mean or feel like to watch the team crawl for you after you offered to run for the flagrant?
It was pretty funny. I don't know what else to say. That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Does it kind of speak to the chemistry that y'all have right now?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say they knew coming in I only had 1 year, and they've really accepted me as Brady and as a basketball player.
One more. Brady, you were talking about the Big 12 earlier. What was the atmosphere like in Fort Worth? It seemed like when you were playing Baylor, a lot of the Kansas fans were actually getting behind y'all and cheering y'all on.
Yeah, it was a really, really good arena. A lot of fans, I was seeing people that were just there to watch games. They weren't cheering for anybody. They had some other school shirt on, and they were just there to watch games. It was a really good atmosphere. It was a lot of fun. It was a really, really cool gym, actually.
All right, thank you, Brady. We'll get RJ in here.
Thanks, Brady.
Thanks, Brady. Appreciate it. Who wants to go first?
I can start.
All right.
RJ, the team moved to 3-0 in overtime games this year on Saturday after just going through that against Louisville, against Clemson, or not Clemson, against Syracuse and almost Clemson. What was your confidence level like heading into the overtime when the clock struck at 0 in the second half?
Well, I mean, I've been in situations like that before, from previous games and this past season. So, going into overtime against Baylor, I just wanted to do whatever I had to do to get a win. I told my teammates, let's hold our heads, maintain our composure, and let's just do this for the guys that, do it for Brady, do it for Caleb, and do it for the whole team. We knew, what was at stake, and we knew we wanted to win, so, why not go out with a bang?
RJ, what does your phone look like after the game when you first turned it back on?
I mean, I usually turn my phone off before a game, so once I turned it on, there was a bunch of notifications from Instagram, Twitter, text messages, so, I couldn't even really respond to that many people all at once, so it took a couple of minutes and days actually just to get back to everyone. But it was a lot.
You could use this forum to apologize to everybody for.
Yeah, I apologize.
Who was the first person that you talked to afterward?
I would say my mom. I saw my dad at the game. My dad was at the game, so then I called my mom just to speak to her because she wasn't there.
RJ, we played 40 or more minutes 3 times in the last month. What kind of toll does that take on a player, especially a guard that has to work against pressure? And how have you sort of tried to prepare yourself each time to play well in those situations, especially in March when the pressure's up?
I mean, I know it's March, and so this is the big times for me to recover, get my body well rested. Whether that's taking an extra nap like I love to do, or just getting the ice tub and just calm my mind down. I know it's like it's a mental thing, going into this tournament, and you get tired. I said earlier after the Baylor game, there was no time to be tired. I told myself I can't be tired right now. I got to put the team on back and do what I have to do to get this win.
I was just going to ask, what do? You said calming your mind. Do you meditate? Do you just try to, like you said, take naps and just try to reset? Like, how do you do that part of it?
I just tune everyone out. I don't really talk to anyone. Going up to the game. On game days, I just have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm just really just focusing on what I have to do. It's just something that helps me keep calm and tune out the noise.
How long did it take you after the Baylor game for your kind of adrenaline and mental state to return to normal after that?
I was on a plane. Took maybe like a 20-minute nap, and then the rest of the time I was just up thinking. Like that game was really crazy. Like going from a 25-point lead until crumbling and having different moments and different feelings and emotions. So I mean, I just the game kept replaying in my mind, but I was happy with the success and happy with the win that we pulled out.
Speaking of the game, RJ, speaking of the game, particularly in the overtime, drive to the basket, 3-point play, crucial play. What was going through your mind after you made that play there?
Well, I also want to redeem myself for the end of regulation. I knew I should have drove the ball. So once I got the opportunity to get the 3-point play, I saw the open space and I saw the ability to drive my man to the basket. And I was able to finish. So that was a big crucial moment for me and for my team for us to get us a big lead.
What was the play at the end of regulation? What was the kind of design on that?
It was a ball screen action. I got the mismatch. It was just a high pick and roll. I just saw an opportunity where, now looking back on it, I could have, done a better job of just breaking down my man going earlier. So I think in overtime, I was able to pick up on that and execute that.
And then with the press break, after looking at tape, what was kind of the issue with y'all's press break?
I think our spacing and positioning, and just not like it seemed like everyone was too bunched up together at one point a couple of times. It was just more about having like outlets and options being available.
Considering the circumstances of losing a 25-point lead in 10 minutes, you're going into overtime, and you don't have Brady. He's not even on the bench to give you that support. Caleb's fouled out. What does it say about this group to pull that game out when you had Dontrez and Justin on there out on the floor for those whole 5 minutes?
It was like a next man up mentality. Trez and Justin and Puff and the rest of the guys that stepped up big time and big moments. We needed that. We had Brady and Caleb go down, so we needed the next guy to step up and help contribute to this win, and that's what they did.
Dontrez's 3. When you look back on that, did that give you guys kind of put you at ease when you hit that 3? You realize, okay, we weathered the storm. Now we're back in front and we can be who we are.
Actually, when Dontrez hit the game, that 3 during overtime, I was like, we're good. We're going to make a run from here. That was a big 3. I'm super happy for him. Just the amount of work he put in and just trusting the process. So I'm glad he enjoyed that moment.
A lot of talk about how the guys responded to Brady afterward. But what about Dontrez? I saw some pictures of some guys hoisting him up in the locker room as well. 25 minutes and he had 9 points in that big shot.
Yeah, I mean, we always just told the guys, just to be ready because you never know when your number's called. And when his number was called, he was ready. So it's just for him to, feel that moment, March Madness, big time plays he made, and, that big 3. I'm just happy for him. He's enjoying this.
When Caleb fouled out, did you ever take a moment when somebody's shooting a free throw or something and say, all right, I've got to carry this thing in terms of the ball handling and everything the rest of the way? Did you ever have that conversation with yourself as crazy as it was out there, like this is sort of on me the rest of the way?
I just knew I had to regroup the team as a leader, not just as myself, but for the other guys to give them confidence to be able to play well during this moment, and just instill that confidence so they could look back on this and be happy for it. I wasn't just mostly thinking about myself, but just mostly thinking about as a team that we need to do this, not just put my not for me just have this think I have to put the team on my back.
You started the season was basically two guard front.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through the evolution of how you became the primary ball handler.
I think basketball is positionless. I don't really think I'm like the primarily ball handler. Anyone can handle the ball, but it just came down to towards the end of the season where I was just put in positions to make plays for my team. So that's really about it.
What's the approach, the preparation this week? As Leaky's the only guy on this team that's ever been to the Sweet 16 before.
Just to enjoy the moment and just take it one game at a time. Don't get too big headed. What we did on Saturday, or was that Saturday? Yeah, Saturday was phenomenal. But now going into Friday with the new mindset of trying to get a win.
To get home, and obviously you talked about replaying the game through your mind, and then you got back to Smith Center and there were fans everywhere. What was that moment like?
Soaked it all in. It was something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, just to see how much fans care for this place. It was amazing. Just walking through the crowd, giving them high fives and have smiles on your face. That's something that's that I'll cherish forever.
RJ, what is it about Brady that you guys have embraced him so much? It seems like sometimes with transfers coming in, it kind of takes a while for both that person to warm up to the team and vice versa. But it seems like he's always, even before he's the close of the season, that you guys had always kind of embraced him.
I don't know, something about Brady that soon they stepped on campus, it just felt different. Even in open runs when he played with us, he always just was that energizer. He you could just get buckets. And he's always just fun to be around. He has his own personality that we all love, and I'm just happy he's a part of this team.
Is there a secret? I don't know if that's the right word, to getting off those shots that you get off when you're driving to the cup, like the 3-point play in overtime? That was a high degree of difficulty. You're falling down. It's left-handed. You had a bunch of those at Duke, in Cameron. What? How do you get those off? It's not like you're, getting it's not like you have a ton of bounce off the floor. No offense, but how do you do that?
That's something that I've been doing my whole life. I find ways, to score the basketball at a very high level. That's something I've been doing since high school. I always call myself a certified bucket getter. So I live by that, and it's just something I always practice too. From summer workouts to leading up to the season, just perfecting my craft. That's really about it.
Take one more for RJ.
What have you seen out of Tiger Campbell in UCLA? And you guys obviously similar position, similar build and size. Just going into that, what have you seen on film?
I know he's a really good point guard. He runs the team well, at a good pace. I'm just looking forward to that matchup.
All right. Thank you, RJ. We'll get
Thank you.
Coach Davis in here. Appreciate it, RJ.
Appreciate it.